where we have, I'm so excited about today's show. We've got so much to talk about and so much to bring to you. You know, my goal always is to bring goodness and to bring in people who are here to serve and to give and to love. And oftentimes when that happens, they've been through a lot of shit. And so I think that that's kind of the stuff that we want to talk about. You know, we know life always brings us curveballs. And so that's really a great title. I love that you named it Curveballs and Curveballs and what do we call it? Curveballs and Resilience?
I think that's it. Yes.
Like, sorry to put you on the spot.
Curveballs, chaos, and resilience.
Yeah,
I like that. Yes.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh goodness. Anyway, so I think we were all up at 3 o'clock this morning, including Henry, is what I'm hearing. So I'm not sure what that's about. But anyway, today's going to be a ton of fun and, you know, hard conversations, but that's what it's all about, right? But sorry, Pam Cass and Natalie Davis. I should probably introduce you. Good morning. I just get to talking and I don't think ahead of time. But we always start the show with gratitude because gratitude can change the world. I fully believe that, and I think it's an important place to start and to end. I'm not amazing at it, but I do work really hard at, you know, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I tend to try to talk to God and say some prayers and, you know, what I'm grateful for. I do the same thing if I don't go to sleep at night. So what are y'all grateful for?
Oh my gosh. Today I'm grateful to be here because when we went on this journey to start this podcast 250 episodes ago,
yes,
we wanted to build a community so we could reach people that have gone through adversity. And so being able to be here and be on radio and to share our stories and inspiration, I'm super grateful because I feel like this is why we did it.
Good. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. I'm so glad you're here.
I love it.
250 episodes is amazing.
Just this week, we just hit 250, which is super exciting. So I'm grateful for that. I think gratitude for our passion actually turning into a project that is driven and founded in purpose and being able to have impact on people's lives. I think the other thing that I'm grateful for is my community. I am surrounded by and blessed with some fabulous people in my life, and so I'm grateful for my community.
That is the best, and I think often what helps to kind of keep us and keep things going is when you're surrounded by people who want to see you succeed, but also are here to serve and to give and to love, right? And you just sort of wrap around each other, and that's how we just keep continuing to grow and, you know, get to that level we all want to get at, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's do this. I think, what am I grateful for? I am grateful we have decided, so we went to Dallas a month ago to see friends and family. For Thanksgiving, we're going back to Dallas again, so we drive, right? So this is 2 Dallas trips in about a month. The dogs in tow, we've got 3 dogs, the whole thing. But we're going to get to see family we haven't seen in a while. We're going to run through Oklahoma and go to Dallas and hang out and do a little playtime. And then I'll do it again, but it'll be going to Arkansas to see my dad for Christmas.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like, you know, these 3 13-hour trips in 3 months.
Yes. Yeah. 10 of those hours are just Texas alone. So
that's it's true. But I'm grateful that we can, and I actually love trips like that because it gives me time to listen to books and podcasts and do work and let's see. I'm hearing us in the background. Anyways, distracting me. But those are the things that really excite me for long trips. Is just getting through those things and having fun and spending time with my husband. You know, and you know, it's just really good. So
awesome.
grateful for this time of year. I love Christmas. I love everything about. Well, I don't love the commercialization of it, but you know, the true story of Christmas is, you know, it's an amazing thing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Love it.
God is good, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about you. And I don't know who wants to go first. This is totally kind of up to you and how, you know, we sort of go through this process. But knowing your story, to me, is how people relate, right? And how they're like, okay, I'm in the middle of this, whatever this is right now. How can I get through it? And that's what y'all are all about, right? And so who wants to start?
Let me start.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll start. Well,
Okay.
I'll give everyone a little bit of a background in terms of how we connected with Nikki. And I think it started with our podcast, Reignite Resilience. And so thank you for joining us and
Yeah.
gracing us with your presence and your talents as well. And I think when you look at your story, for me, my story, we could go on for hours or days if I start to really unfold everything that has brought me to where I am today.
Yeah.
But my story, I think, is a story that's similar to many people, just in terms of having this drive to be successful, but not necessarily having an understanding of what that vision, like where it really comes from.
Yeah.
So my childhood, I grew up in a very structured household, and I did not have the opportunity to really think and feel and express for myself, right? So I was told what to think and what to do and where I was going and when it was going to happen and what I was not allowed to do very easily. And so I understood and embraced this understanding of, okay, I'm told to do X, Y, and Z and I get it done. And that's also the side of me that wants to make sure that I'm making other people happy and pleasing them and finding love in that. And that was a big piece that I've uncovered just here in the last couple of years, is realizing that I connected this sense of belonging and being loved to what I was doing to appease the people in my life. And that carried on into my marriage with my first husband, first and only, I should just say, I've only been married once. So my first husband, but and with my kids. I mean, I even had it with the reverse with my children, like showing up in a way that I knew that they would be satisfied or pleased with me as a mom, right? How can I show up as a great mom? Not really thinking about the authenticity or even being genuine and real with myself. And so I think just those things have really put me in the space and the season that I'm in right now, where I'm truly honest with myself in terms of what I want, what it looks like, how am I going to get there. Not that I have to have all the details, but I'm a Virgo, so I like to have the details. And so that doesn't hurt, but just being in that space to say, okay, well, what do you want? And we talked about it 200 episodes ago. It was in the very beginning, where if you'd asked, or if anyone had asked me, well, what do you want? That was probably the most crippling question that you could ever ask me.
It's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a hard, it was a hard question for me before.
Yeah.
It's no longer that. And I know that I know what I want from a sense of what it feels like. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what the experiences will be, but I know what I want to feel like when I get there. And so that's my journey right now in seeking that. Yeah.
So can you tell us what that feels like for you?
Yes, yeah. If you can imagine like the most euphoric state in terms of being filled with love and surrounded by love. I think that's the best way that I can describe it. So it's the internal, like knowing that everything within me is in alignment, and I'm loving myself and loving every part of me as I show up, and that's hard. That's hard to get there. But then also, like, every experience and every sense is also just overflowing with love, and there's a tremendous amount of joy that's in that as well. I don't correlate it or attach it to a dollar amount or a style of home or the car that I'm driving. It goes and spans well beyond that. The other big piece that makes that up is the impact that I'm having. So I want to always and constantly be in a place that I'm having impact on other people's lives. And so I think when I reach there, which I feel that I am on the border of it now, but when I reach that point, I will realize that, and acknowledge that space that I'm in, that this is it. This is what it's truly about. Yeah.
I think that's such a great answer because, and this is coming from, I think, a personal perspective, but I think what most of us are when we're like, what do you want in life and where do you want to be and what's your 1 year goal, what's your 5 year goal, where do you want to be in 10 years? It's always it's the thing or the place or it's the external, right, as opposed to the internal. So I love that answer so much because I think it can help give just a new perspective on what it means when somebody says, where do you want to be in life?
Right. Right, absolutely.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, and we're in business planning season, so I do
Yeah.
those other things as well,
Sure.
right? Like it's,
Yeah, you
it's,
gotta do
you
it.
have to do the things that are
Mhm.
going to fund this,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of cost or expense
Yeah.
that's associated with
Mhm.
the things that we're going to just living,
Mhm.
right? I jokingly say, like, if you just wake up and leave your house, it's $100. Like, just know that you're gonna spend $100 as soon as you open the door.
Now it's 200.
Yes. So I know, like, I'm not detaching from that piece of it, but that's not the anchor. That's not the why. That's not what drives me. And that's, I know that those other things have to happen. I have to take the action on the back end. But the reality is, like, how I feel and how I make other people feel, and the impact that I can have on other people, that's really my main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
That makes me think of, my coach once asked me, what's to the right of your equal sign? I'm like, what are you talking
What
about?
does that mean?
I was like, what does that mean? And it's like, you have the things you want,
Yeah.
the car, the house, the relationship, the whatever. But to the right of the equal sign is why. What's the feeling you want? And I think we spend so much time on the things we want that we never stop to say, well, what will that mean to me? What is the feeling I'm looking for? And if we don't really know what the feeling is that we're looking for, then I think all we're doing is living on the left of our equal sign. We're just new goals. Well, I don't know why I want this, but I should probably want this.
I should probably want this.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
you know, that's what social media and that's what, you know,
Society
my
says.
society
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
And, but what if it's, I want it because I want to
Yes.
feel joy. I want to have an impact. I want that feeling when somebody looks at me and said, you made a difference in my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's totally different.
Yeah.
And,
It is.
I don't think we spend enough time there.
I agree, and I'm gonna say this, it's sort of a plug, but it's not a plug, because of what you're saying. I have been coached for as long as I've been practicing to reach a certain group of people, right? And you don't discount, and you don't do this.
Yeah.
And there was something that, I mean, I get it, right? But there was something in me going, I am not reaching enough people. And it's only just starting to come to me, to this realization that I have, and I can find the ability and capacity to reach people who may not be those, I need all the big details, and I don't have all the money to spend, right?
Right.
And I just kind of went, it feels so much better, and I'm just doing it, right? So I'm just kind of figuring it out, how it would actually work. But it feels good for me to feel like I have the ability to give more of what people need, which is true health, true wellness, true information, real information, not BS social media stuff, right?
Yes.
The individualized care that people need,
Right.
in a manner that is the way that they can take it and accept it and afford it. And then if they want to go deeper, then we can go deeper, right?
Let's go.
But I can still give
Yeah.
really truly individualized care in this way that I've started doing it, that I'm like, this is what feels good and necessary and needed in a place where people are so sick and so scared and so lost and unsure and fearful and all of these things. And that's not everyone, right? But there's so much of that. And so I felt like I wanted to say that, you know, just as you were saying that, because it makes it is this feeling that is something different needs to happen.
Right.
And that's sort of the season that I'm in, which is a good thing. So I want to hear about.
And when
your
I think
story,
when you focus on that, the money will come.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Yeah.
I feel like it will. The right people will come into your world.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a really cool, unintentional shift that I didn't know was there. This whole and I'll be again, super quick again, but it's been my own journey of understanding and learning my own body, and it went, wait a minute, I can do this for all kinds of people. You know? Yeah.
But I think being in tune to that is huge, right? Like we were talking about this a couple of months ago, where like we have our morning routine, we do our morning routine. Over the summer, I got to this point where I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like, it is not like I'm doing it. I'm showing up. I'm checking the boxes. Yes, it's happening. but I'm not, that feeling that I have in that quiet time, that space, it needed to change. And so, like you said, like in your own personal journey, like I realized that I needed to do a shift because there was a level up and an advancement, whatever, fill in the blank. And now that I'm in this new space, what does it look like? And I think as we start to do those shifts, the people around us, the people within our community, they're also going through similar shifts as well, because and then they're the ones that are not, and that's okay too.
Sure. Everybody has their season at different times, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's why they're called seasons.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was trying to pivot and, avoid.
No, you don't have to say anything you don't want to, but give us all the dirt.
all the sort of dirt.
There will be a series of books that are gonna put it all out there, so there.
So we just started with one so far.
Started with one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a series of books, and it's so funny because the journey to this book started years ago, or what I wrote in this book started years ago, because I was at a point where I didn't remember my childhood. I didn't remember a lot of my childhood.
Really?
And I reached out to my sister, I'm like, do you remember? And she goes, not really. And I was like, okay. And I read a book, which I just recommended to somebody, What Happened to You? And it was by Oprah Winfrey, and I'm going to probably butcher it, Charles Perry, I think is the name.
Okay.
And I recommend it on Audible because it's a dialogue between the two of them, and it's story, but it's also science. And it talks about childhood trauma and what happens from when you're in utero, and then how our brain will protect ourselves from memories. And trauma doesn't have to be these big, huge events. Like when we think of trauma, we think of really bad things. It can be just little things. And so I started doing something called EMDR, because that book led me to The Body Keeps the Score, which such a good book. Recommend it to anybody.
Everybody,
And so that's where I was introduced to EMDR. I talked to my counselor about it, and she goes, absolutely, you would be somebody that would be a candidate for it. And so I did it, and EMDR just brings up all of those memories that you've kind of repressed. And it's, when you do it, it is so exhausting and emotional.
I was gonna say, that's gotta be things you don't remember to things you do remember, because you're suppressing them for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and it's weird because when you're in it, your brain is like jumping, like to really young childhood, and then an adulthood, and then here. And so you feel like you are on this like roller coaster and of emotions. But it brought back all the memories of my childhood. And so when we were gonna write this book, first we were just gonna do a self-help book. Like, it's gonna be great. 64 we had 64 pages so far, and it was gonna be, each one was gonna be a chapter about adversity, and we were gonna give them a roadmap on how to get through it. And then we stalled, and then we didn't talk about it for months. And one of my clients.
What does that mean?
I don't. Yeah, we're like, this probably means something. And I was like, all right. And so then.
Not me. I don't ever analyze it. She analyzes what that's me. I'm like, that's just where we are. It's fine.
It's gonna be okay.
That's why you're good partners.
Yeah. And so one of my coaching clients sent me a book in the mail called The Energy Bus. And
The Energy Bus.
Energy Bus.
Okay.
And it's a series. It's one book in a series of books, and it's a small book. And I was like, because somebody gives it to you as a gift, and I'm an Audible person. And it was, I didn't find it on Audible, so I'm like, I'm just gonna read a chapter a night. Well, the way it's written like a story.
Okay.
And so you've got a main character, and you're going through this story, but it's got a message in it. And so I called Natalie. It was December of last year.
Yes.
And I said, hey, what do you think about just tossing what we've done so far, and we take a stab of doing just small, bite-sized books, each one kind of focusing on a different type of adversity, and then we make a series. And she goes, I don't know how to do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What about all the work that we've already done?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, what about?
I don't wanna waste my time.
And so I'm like, okay, well, you're going on vacation.
Yep.
Stop by my house, get this book, The Energy Bus. I just finished it. You'll know what I'm talking about. And then let me just take a stab at it.
Yeah.
And when I had done the EMDR, I journaled after every session about the memories. And I was like, okay. And it was the scariest thing ever, because I'm like, I'm gonna share stuff about myself that is super vulnerable and that very few people know. And how is it gonna be received? Like, am I gonna be judged? Am I gonna be, criticized? Whatever. And I was like, just do it. And so I think it was like a month and a half, and I finished it.
Cathartic?
Yeah, and what has come out of it is this, this almost like piece of like, now it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I wrote it in first person, which thanks to Natalie's daughter, because at first I was reading it it was not first person, but she's like, oh, it needs to be first person, so they feel like they're the ones that are the character, and I was like, brilliant.
It just gave me chills.
Yeah, really, that's brilliant. And so, and then I wanted it to have some, you know, like mystery in it, so we added like a mystery character that kind of shows up, and to me that's whoever you want it to be. It could be God, it could be your spirit guide, it could be your inner voice, it could be, for me it was my cat. My cat Tom. But this was showed up as a man, but I was like, because my cat was was my best friend, who I told everything to and was always with me and loved me unconditionally. And so it could be whoever that is for you. And he gives the main character a tattered journal at the very beginning of the story, and that journal disappears and shows up when the character is going through some sort of challenge. And she always finds it, and she opens it, and it's always a blank page, and it's always got a prompt, like a journal prompt, that then it's the question that she's dealing with in that moment that she has to reflect and answer. And so we decided, let's make it a series, and it's called the Red Journal series. And so I'm actually working on the journal. I got 7 weeks done last night.
Nice.
That there will be a
Good.
prompt on every
Yeah.
page, and a weekly reflection, and a page that's going to be a day of affirmations.
Yes.
And so it's been great, but my story really started when I was 7 and was diagnosed with dyslexia. And it was in the 70s, and people knew about dyslexia. You could test for it. I was tested for it in Boston, which is a big city. We live 20 miles outside of Boston in a very small rural town. You're all going to think you're going to feel sorry for me. We had no mall, no fast food restaurants, and we did town hall meetings. And so it was a very small town.
Yeah.
And so they didn't know what to do with me. And so that meant that I got pulled out of the classroom when the kids were either doing spelling or reading or anything like that. And at first I was like, well, this is cool. I get to leave the classroom. But then I'm going and making cookies or doing artwork. And when I come back, the other kids are like, well, why didn't she have to do this? And so there was those whispers. So in my mind, I'm like, they're talking about me. I'm different. So I very much became invisible. I was like, I didn't want anyone to see me.
So, and I know that you don't know necessarily the reasoning behind that, but to take you away from, I mean, that takes you away from learning, right?
Yeah.
You're not learning what everybody else is
Yeah.
learning, even if you need to learn it differently,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
They didn't know what to do.
oh man.
Yeah, and so it was one of those things that at school I shrunk because I didn't want people to notice me coming and going. And so I just became just so shy. Like I would just not talk to anybody except for my cat at home. And then at home I felt invisible as well, but I wanted to be seen at home. And so I used to hide in the closet, and I would hide with my cat on my lap, and I would hide, and I'd hope that my parents would notice I was missing and come look for me, and they didn't. And so, you know, in confirmation bias in our mind, we're like, see, I am invisible. So I was in this space where I was like, I wanted to be invisible in spaces, and I wanted to be seen in spaces. And so I just had this life of feeling like I didn't have a voice and I wasn't seen, and it was very much tied to my worth. And so that whole book was really a journey. It goes through my college years, and I'm going to start writing my next chapter. But it has impacted my life, and I know there's so many people. So I mean, I don't hide in closets anymore, mostly because I'm too big, and I don't like the smell of feet in shoes. And so, but I traded that for to-do list and keeping busy and titles and all of the crap that ends up in burnout. And so I just switched one for another.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of just a glimpse of my journey.
So I'm curious about the book because it is not a autobiography. It's your stories, both stories, right?
But written more like a fable, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Or is that,
Yeah. All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it. I'm sorry I haven't, because I did
good.
see, I got your email saying that it was out in the world. I'm like, I need to get this.
Yeah, it is being made into an audiobook now.
Okay.
And this was a fun story as we were promoting the book.
Yeah.
A girl I went to high school with, who I've not talked to since high school, who I played soccer with, reached out and she goes, I do voiceovers. And she goes,
cool.
I'd love to talk to you about doing this as an audiobook. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted to do it myself because it's my story. And she's like, well, let's do a call and I'll kind of walk you through how to do it, and I can totally support you in doing it yourself. She like started talking, I'm like, we're done, I don't want to do that. You can do it. It was so complicated. I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay in my lane. And so she's doing it right now. We actually, tomorrow will get the first version for us to listen to. So it's gonna be cool to hear it, you know, hear it audibly, the story being told. So very excited about that.
So fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
So here's my question, because you both are originally, right, back in maybe still realtors. Yes.
Yep, correct.
Yes.
And are you still doing real estate?
I am still doing real estate.
Okay.
I coach mostly realtors. I do
Okay.
have people outside of I have insurance, and I have people in the medical field that I'm coaching, and then I teach a lot of classes for our state association and our national association, and do some speaking, and podcast and authors, and nothing much.
I mean, all the things.
All the
so many
things.
things that you're listening.
Yeah.
And are you still? You're not still doing real estate, or are you?
So only on a referral basis.
Okay.
I'm not working to build that book of business. I do have clients and colleagues that will refer business to me. I'll handle those clients. The majority of my time is on the road. I'm doing a lot of consulting with associations, so within that nonprofit or not-for-profit association world, doing a lot of leadership training, and then just personal and professional development training. And so that's what really keeps me busy and active throughout the days and the weeks.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
So how did the two of you come together?
Well, we used to work together. That's
Okay.
I think
I
well,
kinda figured, but
we volunteered together. That's how
we
it started.
volunteered. We were
Yes.
in junior league together.
Yes, that's right. That's
and
right.
I was
junior league. So how old were you?
Oh,
2013.
it was
Okay.
2013.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
You're thinking the younger one.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
junior achievement.
Okay.
Yes.
Junior
okay.
league is like a women's volunteer
Yes.
organization.
I see.
And so
okay.
we are volunteering at that together. We worked at different brokerages, and I was thinking about moving brokerages. And as a realtor, when you're thinking about moving brokerages, you do not want people seeing you out and about, like talking to people.
Right.
And I'm walking out of the office of the company she was working at. I'm walking out of there because I just met with the president of the company at the time, and my phone rings, and I didn't recognize the number. And I answered, no, you texted me, and I didn't recognize the number. Are you coming to the blank? And I'm like,
Who is this?
Oh my God. I'm like,
which I was probably staring out the window.
Yeah,
right.
like, who is this? And she's like, it's Natalie. I'm like, oh my God. You just gave me a heart attack. Don't say anything to anybody.
Yes.
And so then I came to the company, and then she dragged me into start volunteering at the local association.
Yeah.
And then we started working together, like doing accountability. We would do vision boarding, business
I think the accountability
planning.
is a piece that like really you get into each other's lives, and we were accountability partners 18 months, like
and we
almost
are
2 years.
both Virgos.
Yes.
So it's like.
And so we would show up at our I mean, it's like, are we holding each other's feet to the fire? What are we going to get done? Life was happening at the exact same time. And so we were accountability partners for each other, which that gave us like insight into both personal and professional versus just being colleagues in the same brokerage. And I think that was kind of here we are. We're going to be together forever from here on out. Like this is it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so we've been doing stuff forever together.
Yes.
Since then. We haven't done it in a couple years. We used to do a Think Week down in Mexico for a week. It's where we launched our podcast. And that was just a week. And everybody jokes about that. They're like, you guys aren't really working. No. We would open our suitcases, and there would be those sticky
the post-it
things.
notes for the wall.
And we'd have markers, we'd have books. I mean, we would bring 2 giant suitcases, and gosh only knows what people thought.
Oh,
like
well, people were also always confused, and we had room service one year. This was the piece. We had room service delivered one year. The gentleman walks in, and there's Post-its all over the wall, and this is at a hotel, and he's like, and the books are open everywhere, and we've got like our computers up, and we're talking, and we were just like, okay, you can set everything up there, because we didn't take a break to eat, right? So we had food brought to us, and we're going, and he's like, what are y'all doing?
We are saving the world. That's what we're doing.
And he was so intrigued about it, and I don't think he'd ever seen anyone use a space for that, but those Think Weeks were powerful.
Yeah, and we would sit at the pool on our computers working. And we would go to the gym every morning, we would
Yes.
get a smoothie,
Yes.
and then we would go to the pool usually
Yep.
and work.
Yep.
And we would not get food, we'd not get alcohol
Yep.
or anything until like 3 in the afternoon.
That was the hardest part, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're not allowed to have
yeah, the pool in Mexico
water.
usually comes with a cocktail.
Oh, yeah,
but-
we did
Oh
not
my
dip
god,
in, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, as I look over
Yeah.
to like the people beside us and they're having like the guac and the margaritas
Yeah.
and I'm like,
And everybody's
it's fine,
watching us.
it's fine, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
I can do this. I
Yeah,
can do this.
and we got a lot of comments, like,
We did.
guys,
But I'm
yeah.
glad that we kept that discipline, that was
We
important.
totally
Yeah.
did, and we
Yeah.
always celebrated at the end of the week
Yes.
with like a spa day, or
Yes.
we would do a fancy dinner or something
Yes.
like that. But that's where we've created really amazing things.
Mhm.
you
Our
know,
first
doing
course
that.
came out of our Think Week.
Yeah.
That would have been 2017. We
Yeah.
created a course for real estate agents.
That is
Okay.
launching this January with a company is gonna do it for their
First
rookies,
licensing
and
agreement,
so-
yes, for,
Nice.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of come,
Full
full
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
We revamped it, changed it, updated it to make sure that it's still relevant to where we are today because our industry
Market has changed.
has changed significantly over the last couple of years. So just
Yeah.
making sure that it's still relevant for agents, but that piece is complete and again, a labor of love
Yeah.
in doing
Yeah.
that.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Super fun.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So I have sort of an off the wall question because I've been trying to figure this out.
Okay.
I love to be outside.
Yes.
It's like my favorite place.
Yes.
If I go meditate, it's in the sun,
Mhm.
as much skin showing as possible, right?
Yeah.
And it's the way that I see it is I say my prayer time in the morning and I'm
Mhm.
talking to God, but that's my time when I just try to just be quiet and
Mhm.
listen to what He has to say
Yes.
to me. But can't do that all day, and I need to work, right?
Yes.
So the computers are terrible outside. How did you work outside by the pool with your computer?
Oh, umbrella.
Umbrella.
There was an umbrella,
Mhm.
so we
Okay.
were in the
Oh, yeah.
shade.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Well,
was-
that was really difficult one.
This is important.
I mean, it is.
I thought you were gonna ask about like our
It's so
outside
funny.
today, like now, cause
Yeah.
it's funny, we
Yeah.
had this conversation yesterday, we did some business planning yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and,
Yeah.
and she was like, did you walk here? I said, I did, and it's not far, so
Yeah.
like, let's not get confused. And so, and I said, yeah, she goes, well, do you wanna ride? I was like, no, this is probably the most amount of time that I'm
Yeah.
gonna have outside today, so I'm gonna just take this moment to like really take it in,
Yeah.
and just do like a lovely stroll home, so yeah, I'm the same, I get that recharge from the sun,
Yeah.
Need
also
to
from the
be
moon,
in
but
the sun.
yeah.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
So, I feel like, so I'm trying to kind of understand. You have your sort of traumatic childhood
Mhm.
junk, right?
Mhm.
And did you also have kind of junk, or
100%.
you did?
100%.
Yeah.
I hadn't unpacked it as much as I'd like to. I'm in that
Mhm.
space right now.
Mm-hmm.
A ton. I think for me, I feel like I have junk but not luggage or baggage. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, of course.
So it started very early. I was actually adopted by my aunt and her husband, which was my uncle by marriage, at the age of 3 and moved to the United States at the age of 3. I was born in Jamaica.
Oh.
So it started, for me, it was like very early
Mhm.
and young, and there are so many layers to it. I mean, I can start to unfold and unpack like things that have impacted, that play a direct impact on who I am today, but
Mhm.
that was, I think, the first like traumatic experience that I had. It was a lovely experience. My parents were fabulous parents, and I'm grateful to have had the opportunity. I'm the oldest of 3, so I have 2 brothers that still live in Jamaica. And so I think as the oldest, as a Virgo, you kind of have this sense, and as the one sibling that's actually living in the United States,
Mhm.
like you're the one that has the opportunity. Like
Mhm.
you don't F it up,
Yeah.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
a lot that's riding on
A
your
little
shoulders.
bit of pressure there.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
so you know that, like at a very young age you feel it. It's not spoken, but you kind of
Yeah.
feel that pressure of you're the one that is going to, break the curse for the family or be the light of whatever it might be. And there was a lot. So my birth mother, she's still living. She's still in Jamaica. She parented and raised both of my brothers. But it was a teenage pregnancy, right? And so I
Sure.
moved to the States. But then coming to the States at a very young age, like realizing I was different very quickly, right? Because I've got the accent. I'm not born in the States, and this is now like the early 80s. And it's like, that's not a time where you have like social media or television or anything to like kind of blend that gap of the differences that we had. So stripping like accent, stripping any way that I would be perceived as being different from anyone else, and that was like the very beginning of me just doing everything that I could to shed who I am, to blend into, yes, absolutely. And so, I didn't know that until starting to do the work, right? I didn't realize it. I was just like, I just acclimate. Whatever situation I'm in, I'm happy to be there, and I'll show up however I need to show up in those situations. And so, similar to you, like being seen in one space and not being seen in the other, like it's like I just want to blend in. I don't need to be seen. I just want to be normal, like everyone else. I just want to be part of everyone else. But then at home, like we had this very strong Jamaican community where there were like all of our friends were Jamaicans, and so it's like and then all of their American kids, right? And so we kind of had this connection and this bond, but a community that existed outside of my everyday normal, right? Like my time at school, which was the majority of my life. And I carried that over. I talked about like just kind of that regimented household that I grew up in, and I ended up getting married very young, having kids very young, and found myself, instead of doing the things that would please and satisfy my parents, I just did the things that would please and satisfy my husband and my children. And again, just getting lost in that, like whatever I need to be for the people in my life, I will be that. And in 2007, my mom passed away. Not my birth mother, but my adopted mother passed away. And that was hard. And I slipped into a pretty dark cycle. It was very, very challenging. And then exactly 7 years later, to the week, my dad passed away. And so there's this moment, there was a television show that like describes it as, there was a gentleman that called his ex-wife on the show, and he was like, hey, well, you know, my dad passed, I'm an orphan now. And it was like, and this, I just saw this year, and it resonated so much. I was like, damn it, I am an orphan, right? And like in that moment, going back to like, where do I belong? Where am I supposed to fit in? And so when my dad passed away, like losing both parents, you are truly lost. I make it an I statement, I was truly lost, especially with the upbringing that I had. And again, it was lovely. I would not trade my childhood for anything. But I knew I was lost then, and I started to spiral. And luckily I had a fabulous community around me and mentors in my life that helped me do that introspective work, answering that question, what do you want? Like, you're important, there's a reason you're here, and not dismissing that, and then realizing that piece, like there is a reason that I'm here. I have a charge, and if I choose not to carry that forward, it's a disservice to this opportunity to live this life in this moment, right? And so, long answer for your question, but a ton of trauma that I think I've gone through that brings me to where I am. I wouldn't have it any other way, right?
And it's so good. It's not good, but what comes of it is if we can have the mindset is that it is so good, and it's so freaking hard too, right? That's what life is. It's the hard stuff that makes us grow and makes us better and makes us do the things, makes us that resilient person who can go and do the things that we want to do in our life.
And I think there's definitely that space for you to sit in, I choose not to, that where it's like, woe is me, right? Like that sucks. Like you are the orphan girl. Like, what are you doing in life? And now, fast forward, my kids are both adults. My oldest is married, and I'm an empty nester. I've gone through a divorce, and it's like, okay, now what? Now, I mean, you really have to know what you want, because no one else is really looking to you to answer that, right? So because things have lined up to where they are right now, I'm grateful that I've identified it and I create that space for me to do the work. But the opposite is true. Like, I could just sit in that pity and have that pity party all by myself. Like, I've had a pretty shitty childhood and young adulthood, and here I am, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, or I choose to do the opposite, right? Like, that's not where I want to be.
That's exactly right. And you said a couple of things in that are so good and so real, is that you make a choice. We all have the choice to change, to shift, right? It might not be easy, but you can make the choice. And then you create, right? So we are, this is for me, you know, I have my creator, but I also am co-creating with him, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so this goes back to what I love about life is epigenetics, right? And so it all is this co-creation because God gave us free will. In my mind, that is epigenetics, right? And so I am every day making the choices mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, which I'm not great at, and spiritually, all of those things to create. And sometimes it creates not what we want, but we can still make the choice to anyway, I'm kind of
what we
belaboring
need at that moment may not be what we want, but what we need.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. Which, again, lovely, but it still sucks sometimes.
Yeah, there are things about life that can really suck.
Yeah, like you make those decisions that bring you to a certain point and you're like, okay, I think I've worked so hard to get here, and then as you're in that co-creative state, it's like, that's not where you were supposed to be, but
or
we'll do
why
it.
is it taking so long?
That, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So funny. So I'm curious about, so the two of you became friends and co-creators. How did you move out of, because you were both in real estate at this point, how did you kind of go at sort of almost, it seems like at the same time, let's kind of start building these other things, how, I mean, and become the speakers and the coaches and these really cool things that are still, you have your sort of, you know, toe dipped into real estate a bit, but you're so outside of that now.
I think I took the leap first.
I think
I definitely took the leap first. I knew that for me, that I was meant to have greater impact, bigger stages, more people, more opportunities, and I knew that I couldn't do it while practicing real estate. That was full time because I was a full-time real estate practitioner and realtor. It wasn't a hobby like that. I was showing up at the office every day, putting in the 60 hours a week. Like that was my, and I realized that could not happen with what I envisioned and I knew I needed to do. And so as you talk about co-creation, I took the step out with that as my intention. At the same time, my family, my ex-husband, we actually got transferred down about 60 miles away. So we got transferred down to Denver. And so, as you know, real estate's very specific, and I just made this decision of, I'm gonna become a speaker and I'm gonna be a teacher. I don't know how to do it. And also, no one in this space is very helpful because everyone I call is like, oh, you'll figure it out. Just try it.
Do it.
That's great. And so, that was intimidating and scary, and what I knew was real estate, and because of that move, I said, well, you know what else I can do that would still put me in front of more people, is start a whole new brokerage. So I started a brokerage, like I bought a franchise and opened an office, and I'm creating it, I'm doing it, I felt it was against the grain, I knew it was against the grain the entire time that I was doing it, but I did it anyway, right, because I thought, I can have an impact on these lives, it's fine, I'm familiar with the industry, I'll keep working in that space. And so then I think at the same time, while I'm running this brokerage, which was not what I needed, that was not the direction I was supposed to go, but I poured all of my energy into it. Then we started working on creating a course, and that was the first thing that we started to work on was the course.
And I had, at that point, I had moved into a leadership position at the company that we had worked at. And so then I was running a couple of the offices, and I was coaching people inside the company, and we were having success, and then we're like, gosh, you know what we don't have is a training for new agents, and then she's opening this brokerage, we don't, let's create this. And so we both kind of were on our own little journey of, and I did the leadership for like 4.5 years, almost 5 years, and during that I had my cancer stuff, and so, which I felt like, you know, that's where God needed me to be at that moment, because if I was selling real estate, I'm, you know, and I need to take that amount of time off when I worked. And so so just one thing kind of led to another. So we're kind of off on our own paths, but
still running parallel. Yeah, it was interesting. Just in how that all came to be. And we're really good for, you know, we need X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't exist right now, so let's create it. So we make it, and that I think was great for the new agent training program, because we both had agents that we could
Yeah.
take through the program that
Yeah.
give us the testimonials and give us the insight.
Yeah.
And so, that's what helped us to like really form it to what it was, or what it is now.
Yeah.
We've revamped it a couple of times. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you're talking like shooting, I mean, it's self-paced, so shooting video, writing the content, doing the research. We did every single portion of it. And it was started as a 12-week self-paced course, and I think now we're 15 modules that take you through like truly building a business like a CEO. I'm really proud of what it's become right now. But yeah, so both independent stories, but running parallel, and we never took our foot off the gas, I think, in terms of the content and things that we were creating. And we've co-facilitated some stuff too.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So is it okay to ask how your cancer scare plays into all of this?
So how does it play into it as far as like because it was after the scare that we did the podcast.
I think it goes before that.
The cancer scare?
I think it starts with your divorce.
Oh. I was in what we would say a very tumultuous marriage for 23 years.
It's a long time.
Very narcissistic person, and again, it was that whole, I didn't feel like I was worthy of anything else, like we accept the love we believe we deserve, and so this is what I believed I deserved, and so it was high stress all the time, and Natalie went through a lot of that with me, because I was still married when actually it was near the end of the marriage when Natalie kind of came into my world. And we
were doing accountability then too, because that's how it all started to.
Yeah, it just started to unwind. And what happened is when I went into real estate in 2007, before I was in the hospitality industry, restaurants, you don't make a lot of money. And so very much.
And a lot of hard work.
And a lot of physical hard work. And so I very much was dependent upon my husband's income. And then I get into real estate, and all of a sudden I'm making more than him. And I think that there was this like, oh whoa, I can't control her anymore. And it was one day in the bathroom, I'm getting ready, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, I don't even know who I am anymore. I had completely lost, because I was a different person at home and then a different person at work. And work for me was my safety space. Like going to work made me feel like I was important, like I had worth. And at home it was just eggshells, and I think the high stress of that is what probably caused the cancer.
Well, it goes back to the, body keeps the score, right? If you haven't read The Body Keeps the Score, you got to.
Yeah. So when you're on high cortisol all the time, your body, your immune system is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I really do believe this was it has to be a God thing, a spirit thing, whatever, because my divorce was final, and I had been in my new leadership position for about 5 months, and I had to change doctors, new insurance, and it was good insurance, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to do a yearly exam. And so divorce was final December of 2015, and January I found a new doctor, went just for a regular exam, and she happened to be the teaching doctor for UC Health in Fort Collins, so she trained all the doctors, and she's like, your lymph nodes are swollen. I was like, are you sick? And I'm like, I'm never sick, I drink too much vodka. That was totally a joke, and she thought that was hilarious.
No, but it's true, you did, you swore by it, you were like, nothing can survive in this body, I'm drinking vodka.
Kind of numbed me during my divorce, which I don't really drink much anymore. I have to put that out there, because I do not drink like that.
She is not an alcoholic either, like it's just a healthy dose to keep the bugs away.
Exactly. And she goes, well, your lymph nodes are swollen, and then there was this lump, and I'm like, I've had that for years, and I've done a mammogram every single year, so I think it's nothing. And she goes, well, I'm gonna order some more stuff, and that led to them saying it's pre-cancer, so I'm gonna have you meet with a surgeon and an oncologist. And so I met with the surgeon, and it's like, oh, and the oncologist like, it's just pre-cancer, it's fine. The oncologist, or the surgeon's like, we're just gonna remove it, it's like a 3-inch mass. He goes, but before we do that, let's do a MRI just to make sure. And so I did an MRI on a Friday, and they're like, we'll call you like Tuesday, and they called me Saturday morning, and they're like, 2 spots spots along your chest cavity, so you have to have a mastectomy on the left side. And so I said, well, what does it mean for the right? And she goes, well, you will have it eventually on the right side. It's just a matter of when. And so you'll have to do every 6 months, you'll do an MRI and then you'll do an ultrasound and you'll just rotate. And I was like, can I just do them both at the same time? Because I don't want to live with that. And I'm healthy now and I have good insurance. And she's like, that goes to a cancer board, they make the decision, so they came back pretty quickly.
So you can't make the decision on what you want to do?
No, they decide if they'll recommend it or not. And so the cancer board came back and said, yes, you can do a double mastectomy. And so I had and so that was January, I had my surgery in March. And so it was very quick. And so then that was just a year of, surgeries and healing and stuff. And here's what's so interesting. The cancer was easier than my marriage. And one of my friends said to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so true. She goes, your marriage prepared you for this. And I was like, oh, that's so good. And it was. And that's why, I had somebody on a podcast ask me, do you regret or do you wish anything different of your childhood? And I'm like, absolutely not. Because every single thing that's happened has been for a reason and has led me to where I'm at today. And so even though in the moment you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be here right now, and why can't my life be like everybody else on social media?
Right.
Which we know is not real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just one of those things where like, no, this is the journey that I was meant to go on. And I was meant to meet Natalie, and we were meant to start this podcast. We were meant to write this book, and we were meant to do everything. And so in those moments when it feels like this sucks, it's if you can just allow yourself to feel the suck of it and then find the purpose in it. Because I think what's taught us in the 250 episodes is we have interviewed people that have gone through unimaginable things. And yet every one of them has found purpose in it and is doing something to make the world better. And those are the people I want in my world.
Yes, without a doubt. I had a thought and it just totally went away.
Okay, good, because I can also touch on
Great.
a piece.
Good. I was like, where did that go?
And I think it's an important piece because we started out with gratitudes, and I think that was something that Pam, you talk about mastering gratitudes. It's easy for us. I mean, it is easy for us to sit and say, oh, I'm grateful for X, Y, and Z. I start my morning with gratitudes. When Pam was going through all of this, she started going on gratitude walks.
Gratitude walks every day.
Yes.
And it was wild because I told myself it has to be a new gratitude three new gratitudes every day.
Yeah.
Can't do the same repeat stuff. And
I love
I
that.
would do it in
I'm gonna keep that.
There'd be a blizzard, and I would be Sorel's snow goggle hat because I was living with my parents at the time when I was still going through my divorce, and it was the weirdest thing. It was like all of a sudden, without even thinking, I was like, I'm grateful for my husband. At the time we were still married, we were going through the divorce, and I was like, why would you say that? And then I was like, you are. Because you wouldn't be who you are today if you weren't in that marriage. You wouldn't have your kids if you weren't in that marriage. And so it's like, so I am grateful. And once that happened, I released all of my anger and feelings towards him. And it was like this ultimate peace where now when I see him, I have nothing. Like there's no anger or anything. He is just another being on this planet doing the best that he can with what he was given in his life. And so that was transformational.
Oh, I bet.
And I think that went into then the cancer. And I remember Natalie was the first call. Oh, well, I got cancer. And she's like, well, it's going to be fine.
I was like, it's
That
fine,
was
it's fine,
Natalie.
it's gonna be fine, everything's
Everything
fine.
was always
Let's
fine.
just talk about what this really looks like.
And I was like, this is
Yeah.
going to be fine.
It is gonna be fine.
And like
Yeah.
my ex-brother-in-law said, he goes, leave it to, told my sister, leave it to your sister to figure out a way to get a free boob job. And I was like, okay, well, that's not what I was thinking.
I don't even know what to say to
But
that.
I guess maybe you could.
And for that as well, I'm grateful. Thank you.
I'm grateful. Thank you very much. So it's just some things like that. I was just like, so when the cancer thing happened, and it was really interesting because you would go to 2 doctor's appointments a week. Every one of them after my surgeries, they're like, you were healing faster than anybody we've ever seen. And I was like, that's the gratitudes. That's the power of the gratitudes. It
I
heals
think-
your body.
I think that it's powerful that you're saying that, and I hope that everybody really hears what you're saying, because sometimes, and I know that even for myself, you're kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
And what you did was you made it very intentional in the way that you went about it, and I love that because it helps me open my mind to what I could be doing better or differently, right?
Yes.
I was in a meeting yesterday and there was a speaker who was talking about gratitude, and she was in a situation where she was in this really bad relationship with her daughter, and what kept coming to her was how grateful she was for this relationship, this great relationship with her daughter. And she kept going, why am I saying that? It's not great, but it's more about putting it out there that this is a great relationship. We have each other, and now they have this great relationship, right? And it was a really great talk. It was more than what I'm giving, except that I always say it, gratitude can change the world. If we can, those of us who don't do it yet, just have that mindset shift and know that there is at least one thing, and my bet is many things to be grateful for. If we just think about those, it would be a game changer for individuals, but for where we are as a country, where we are globally,
Well, I mean, it chemically changes your brain to look for the positive in an event before it goes to the negative.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's not just, it truly is science that it does that. And it's so weird because, you'll have something happen and it's like, whatever. And it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that makes things, life so much easier.
It does. It really does. I have people in my life who things are just big. Something happens and things just really big. Like, it's not that big. It's not that big.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Like, let's just.
Yeah. Lots of other things to be concerned about. That's probably not one of them.
It's not. It's not. But I'm going to give you this moment and then call you back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You realize it's not that big.
I love that. Yeah. So we're coming up kind of to our hour, which is amazing. I'm so grateful for both of you for being here. I want to make sure that we hit on things. Is there anything that you want to say or hit on or talk about that we need to make sure that we talk about?
A couple of things.
Okay.
Obviously, we recommend our book.
Yes.
Go out. It's
get
called
the book.
The Quiet Gift. It's on Amazon. So that's one. And two, we have an all-day event coming up on January 22nd.
Yes.
Oh.
And Natalie and I are both going to be speaking at that. We also have somebody else that's going to be speaking.
Yes.
And it's going to be in Loveland, Colorado.
Okay.
So look for more information. Go to reigniteresilience.com. You'll be able to find more information about that. And it's going to be a day of kind of resetting, refocusing, and just a lot of like-minded people in the same space. Just walking into 2026, eyes open and completely fully present.
Awesome. So 3 speakers, 3 of you?
3 speakers.
Yes.
Okay. And so it's the 3 of you putting on an all-day event for anyone?
Anyone.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone.
Open to everyone, specifically people that are looking to get in alignment with their purpose. We want to make sure that everyone is really positioned to take on 2026 with that intention and purpose. And so if you're in a spot where you've already done business planning, we're going to give you some anchoring opportunities and tools to really ensure that you can carry that through the entire year. We'll probably do some follow-up throughout the year as well, but really just wanting to make sure that you start the year strong. And we're going to focus on both the personal and the professional, and then have some opportunity for everyone to network together, right? Just tapping into that collective and the knowledge and information that's there with the collective. So we'll have some networking as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Really excited about it.
Yeah, it sounds great. Going back to me again.
Yeah, please do. We're just happy to be here.
Yes,
Thank you, Nikki.
yes.
Let's bring it back to you.
So funny how that happens.
Yes.
I've been getting this, I keep calling it a download. I don't know if that's really what it is, but it's like this visibility. I need to be more visible, and I want to be more visible. And so that's kind of like, that's interesting because something like that sounds like it would be something that would be helpful and
Perfectly aligned.
beneficial for somebody like me.
Yes,
We'll be in touch.
absolutely.
You should absolutely be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And you are welcome if you want to be one of our sponsor, have a table, be
Oh.
a vendor table where you can share your
Exactly.
information and
Cool.
yeah,
All right.
and your services. That would
Fun.
be amazing.
All right. Cool. Is it streamed or is it only only in person?
Only in person.
Only in person.
Okay.
Only in person.
Because we know, I think everyone's a little zoomed out, and with what we're gonna be doing,
Mhm.
some energy work and some grounding,
Okay.
that's something that needs to be held,
Yeah,
the space needs to be held in person.
The practices
Yeah.
definitely need
Okay.
to be experienced in person.
Cool.
I mean, we could meet in the field, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Yeah.
I totally hear you. Yeah, I
Yes.
just wanted to make sure everybody knew one way or the other,
Yeah.
because I think it's great. Is this something? This is the first time
Yes.
that you're
First
doing
time
this?
we're doing
Yes.
it.
I assume you want to do more,
Yes.
and probably will want to do them in other locations.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's
Alright.
the event's called Reignite Live. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah, taking our podcast live.
Y'all are so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. We're excited.
You
It's a lot
should
of fun.
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for you, and I would love to talk more about being a part in any
Perfect.
whatever way that looks
Absolutely.
like. Yeah,
Perfect.
even just being there and experiencing it.
Yeah,
So
we would love it.
yeah. Yay! I don't even know what time it is. I keep looking at my
Oh.
clock, but
Oh.
looky there.
Oh.
There it is.
Well, okay,
That's
so
perfect.
you can be found at igniteresilience.com.
Reigniteresilience.com.
Yes,
Mhm.
sorry, I just went to an Ignite
Yes,
conference.
yes.
Reigniteresilience.com.
Yep.
The podcast is amazing, super fun, because y'all are so cute together.
Thank you.
You're really fun. And then, so you're on Instagram.
Yes.
And it's the Joy.
Lovejoy and Natalie.
Love
Great.
Joy and
yes.
Natalie.
Lovejoy and Natalie on Instagram. Correct. Yeah.
If I was smart, I would have my notes up.
No,
but I
you're
just,
great.
You know.
This is perfect. I'm impressed. Yes.
And you're Pamela
Yep.
Cass.
Yep.
Do you like to be Pam or do you like to be Pamela?
You know, if I'm in trouble, it's Pamela. But,
Yeah. If I'm
so
in
just
trouble, it's
Pam.
Faith Nicole.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Ah, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it.
So anyway, look them up. Doing really cool stuff, and go to the podcast. Their podcast is great. It's so much fun. And anything else? I want to make sure that they find you.
This has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
of course. So the Reignite Live
Mhm.
is on the Reignite Resilience website. Yes.
It will be
It will
at
be
the end
on
of this
tonight.
week.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. Well, I think that's it. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. We will see you not next week because it's Thanksgiving. So, enjoy if you're traveling. Safe travels. If you're hanging out with friends, enjoy your Friendsgiving. God bless all of you. You can find me, of course, tastelifenutrition.com, Taste Life Nutrition, all the socials. Look up also, you can find it, I think, on the website, but we'll have it in all of this stuff, is your Precision Wellness Blueprint, which is what I was talking about earlier, how my goal really is to reach more people with really good individualized information, health and wellness information, lifestyle modifications, all of these things that are really based on you and where you are today and where you want to go, what your goals are. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback. So would love to chat with anybody about that. You can click on the QR code that I don't have up, but it's going to be in, it'll be in the comments and all of the things. It's easy to find. So check that out. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Oh my gosh, this was
So much
awesome.
fun.
Absolutely.